Welcome back to our memory section in Psychology 01. I gave you guys the definition of memory in my last Psychology 01 video, but today I'm going to tell you all about the nature of memory. To start off, memory can be broken into several different categories. So you see, the three fundamental forms of memory are sensory, short-term, and long-term. Sensory memory is basically the five senses, which we've already talked about. Taste, hearing, sight, smell, touch. Hence, we don't need to go over sensory memory. Short-term memory, on the other hand, is memory that we only hold within our heads for like a minute at most. Or better yet, it's the memory that we hold only during the event in which we receive that memory. So for example, if you're watching a particular episode of Gordon Ramsay's show, Kitchen Nightmares, well then you're going to remember the events of that particular episode during the time you're watching that episode. But after you finish all of Kitchen Nightmares, then a few months down the line, you're not going to remember every single episode of Kitchen Nightmares. Why? Because the facts of those episodes in Kitchen Nightmares only lasted in short-term memory. They weren't important enough to you to become long-term memory. Now, long-term memory is, in fact, the memory that we use in our day-to-day lives. And even within long-term memory, there are several different strains of it. Within long-term memory is explicit and implicit memory. Explicit memory is the long-term memory that you hold consciously, and I'll give examples of that later, but implicit memory is the long-term memory that you hold unconsciously. So for example, you guys know how to brush your teeth and use a fork and turn on the TV. That's because of implicit memory. It's been pushed into your brain and you hold it long term. You don't need to think about these things when you're doing it. Even when you master the art of driving a car, at first it's explicit memory, but as you get better and better at driving your car, it will eventually become implicit memory. Now, let me give the final two categories for explicit memory. So these are the examples of explicit memory: semantic and episodic. Episodic memory is explicit memory about historical events in your life, such as your birthday, your wedding, your kid's birth, your graduation, whatever. All these memories of these important events in your life are due to episodic memory. Semantic memory, on the other hand, is explicit memory of facts, such as the fact that 2 + 2 = 4, the fact that I am using a camera to record myself, the fact that I wear glasses, the fact that the sky is blue and the grass is green. Those are examples of semantic memory. Now that I've fully outlined the chart for memory, you can see all the different categories of memory. And I hope that you guys can keep this chart in your mind as I talk about the different forms of memory in the upcoming Psychology 01 videos. Thank you for tuning into this week's class sessions. There'll be 3 more next week, and so on and so forth. Like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, subscribe to my channel, and buy the 3 volumes of my first novel, The Tale of the Wokes. Those 3 volumes are on Amazon, Lulu.com, or BarnesandNoble.com. I've been Varun Gupta, the Autistic Skeptic. Until next time, think skeptically, historically, and psychologically.